Hello everybody and welcome to the Tiger Nexus podcast. I'm your host Tiger. I do just want to quickly mention that yes, some of my audio does get cut out in this interview. I have no idea what was going on. The software I used to record was telling me everything was going perfectly fine, my internet was up to speed, and just for some weird reason, it just did not want to record my audio correctly, so there may be times where I cut out mid-sentence, mid-word, and things like this, but you can pretty much get the gist of what I'm saying, thankfully, so I do apologise for any inconveniences, and let's get in with the episode.
Welcome to the Tiger Nexus podcast, a place where you'll find interviews with content creators and geeks alike. Your host, Tiger, has delved upon the Nexus and found interesting content creators and geeks of all fandoms. This podcast is connected to the Zero to Hero Network. And now we dive in with another episode!
Hello everybody and welcome to the Tiger Nexus podcast. I'm your host Tiger, and today's guest has been someone I've been hyped for ages. If you're a fan of the Son of Trunks or Bloodline of The Grid, Power Rangers Bloodline of The Grid of course, on YouTube, fan films, then you'd definitely be a fan of this episode. I have none other than an actor in Nerdbot, Anime Fire, and more. I have Colin. Hello, Colin. How are you?
Hi, Ty. Thanks for having me. I don't want to ruin the recording, but you're still cutting in and out a lot. I apologize.
Okay.
I'll do my best to answer, though.
I don't know if I can do anything my end.
I'm right next to my Wi-Fi. I have full bars and everything, so I don't know what to do.
Well, we shall see how we go.
Okay, so if you want to do the intro again, I won't say that. If you want to do it again.
Nah, it's fine. It's all good.
Okay, cool.
So, let me first off ask you, what got you into acting in the way that you do?
Well, I was always like a big nerd. Loved superheroes from ever since I was a little kid. And then I was in college and I thought I wanted to be like an English teacher or something. And then I randomly applied for an internship for a comic book website. And I had done some theater and some acting growing up, but I never knew that it was like something I was super passionate about. And then they were looking for more digital media because YouTube was on the up and up and people were making video content for advertising, and just one thing led to another. And I volunteered. I was like, I would love to. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I would love to, start making that part of my job and my internship. So I bought a little flip cam. I don't know if you remember those, before phones could record in 1080, but a little flip cam could record in 720, and then you just plug it straight into your computer and then we'd edit it. So I dove into doing like an original web series with that to go hand in hand with the comic book website. And I started doing fan films, and then we started doing like ads for costume companies, and then music videos and, press and like any type of video content really. Then things started getting more serious and led to more acting possibilities or opportunities. And, now it's become part of my actual day job. So I'm very, very grateful.
Yeah, well, I've been a huge fan of yours since Reverse Flash Origins. I think I first saw episode 2, so it's definitely been a while. When it comes to the YouTube channel that your fan films are all Nerdbot, how did that come up? You working with them?
I'm sorry, did you say how did I come with working with Nerdbot?
Yeah.
Okay, Nerdbot. So I always had this theory that if we kept making content that we love to make, because, like, not for money, not for fame or anything, but just because we love doing it, I had a theory that we would get the right eyes on us. And then one day we were doing a screening at a panel at Long Beach Comic Con, and there was a guy in the audience, his name's Elvin, and he saw our Green Arrow short that we did, and he immediately came up to us after and was like, "Hey, I want to work with you guys. What would you want to do?" And I had a Nightwing series I really want to do called Bloodhaven. And we got pretty far on it. We almost finished episode 1, but it just wasn't I'll be honest, it wasn't very good. It was just like we got put a lot of work in, but it wasn't like what we wanted to release. And so he was like, "Well, what do you want to do? Do you want to try to start over and get this thing done, or add some more scenes, or do you have another idea?" And then I pitched the idea for Reverse Flash Origins, where we were like, "What if Reverse Flash wasn't always a bad guy? What if he was trying to be good?" And he loved it. So we got the green light on that, and we started working with them. And it was like their first web series ever, and it was our first I would say back to web series with like an actual production company behind us. And then we stuck with Nerdbot for a while, and then we went back to our original channel, which is Crimson Vision, and then now we're working on Anime Fire. So we've been hopping around and building different channels for a few years now.
How long does it take to do one video? Because some of your videos are 12 minutes long, some videos are 30 minutes. So how long does it take from, setting up a script to it being published?
Man, it really varies because we're not a legit production studio that can have casting calls or budget meetings or anything. So it's really limiting on what we can do in that certain amount of time. But to give you an example, Power Rangers Shattered Past, our number one viewed video, we filmed that in one day and knocked it out in like maybe a month. But then, our current projects that we're putting a lot more time and effort into, Son of Trunks from beginning to release was almost a year. So, granted, I do keep adding to it when we get different exciting things like returning voice actors or like Power Ranger actors to join us. So I do a lot of writing around and kind of puzzle piecing the script, but it really varies per project. And then like Ninja Turtles Found Footage, one of my favorite projects ever, was just 2 nights of filming and then a few weeks editing, and then it was out. So it all really varies on the script and what our limitations are, and if I add to it after the fact of entering post production. So I don't really have a straight answer for you, but it can. Some of our most successful videos only took a day, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah, that's actually blown my mind. I'm not gonna lie. What's it like working with some of the returning?
Oh man, dream come true. The first one I worked with was William Schufelt, and he became one of my best friends of my whole entire life. But just like working with these Rangers and them, I guess respecting us and appreciating what we're doing is just a dream come true. I'm so grateful that not only the fans, but then the actual what I call legacy Rangers, have all took a liking to the extended universe. And shout out to DJ Rivers, he's made a lot of huge connections for us, and they're all just so kind and welcoming, and even other Rangers want to get involved. So I'm just so grateful, and it's so surreal sometimes where I'm writing a scene and I'm face to face with a Magna Defender, people that I watched on TV all growing up, and then even more stuff down the pipeline that I'm just like, I can't believe these people want to work with us. Like, this is a dream come true. And there's just some moments where I'm like, if I could tell little kid Colin this, he would freak out. So it's just amazing, and I'm just so grateful.
It's actually really funny. The person who got me into podcasting is actually interviewed Christopher Lee, and the same day that this episode comes out, his in.
That's awesome. We love Chris. We love him.
I spoke to the guy who runs the podcast. I've known about this one before I was previously told. And when I actually got in contact with you and you agreed, I was like, dude, you have no idea what's gonna happen. So like we're both kind of psyched that we're both interviewing someone from Bloodline of the Grid, and they both get released on the same day, which is great.
That is awesome.
But it's insane to watch you, on the same screen as the original Psycho. That was absolutely insanity. He does such a good job, bringing back the role. He has this, like, I don't want to say creepy, but that's the only way that he has this creepy. It's just like knowing that this is a fan film as well. It's mind blowing. It's. I think for us Power Ranger fans, I think it's just absolutely insane that someone as a fan, like you said, you're work with Andros. You're Devon, and you're working with people that we grew up with. It's absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm super grateful for Rise of the Ninja and Shattered Past too. We've had real Rangers and all of those, the Legacy Rangers, and it's just mind blowing sometimes. And rewatching it on the big screen is just so cool.
So do you live like close to these actors? Do they have to travel to you? Have you them? How hard has it been to actually record with?
Some are local, and then sometimes we try to fit in some filming while they're in town for like a convention or something. Justin Nemo is a perfect example. I filmed with him in episode 2 of Bloodline, and he was just in town for a convention. And then there's like Jessica Ray, who lived in California but then moved away. And when she's in town, we try to make content as well. So it all varies, but a lot of the convenient ones, the reoccurring actors, they're all relatively close, or we purposely try to schedule filming around when they're in town for something else.
I think that's, knowing for the fact that they're willing to take time out of their, because these people are busy, they're hectic, they're
Yeah.
actors. The fact that they're willing to take time out, phenomenal. Your, Dragon Ball, Reverse Flash, Power Rangers, you guys have some amazing costumes, some really cool suits. How does it come about getting, these suits and how good they look? Where does that come
A lot of luck, honestly. For uh, Sometimes it just starts as an idea and then you build on top of it with like badges and patches and stuff like that. Like I really take pride in the Shattered Past time trio jackets. We all have like our base jackets with like accents on them that don't exactly match the show, but it pays homage to them. And then for Dragon Ball, I loved the reason why I love Trunks so much is because of his outfit. It's like it's modern, it's kind of post-apocalyptic. And then for Vihan, the character I play in Dragon Ball Son of Trunks, I was like, I have a feeling this guy would dress a lot like his dad but not like identical. So I kind of built a more modernized version of what Trunks wore in his debut, and it's one of my favorite outfits that I wear on set. And then for the Saiyan costume, I literally just was trying so hard to find Saiyan armor because I was really picky about how it looked. Then just so happened when we were on set, I was with Brennan Mejia, the Dino Charge Red Ranger, and he plays Oob in Dragon Ball Son of Trunks. We were on set, and the guy that we were renting the set from made armor, so he had a battle damaged Saiyan armor, and I wrote it into the script, and it was like, it's my go-to like battle armor. It's the thing that I think people like better than my normal outfit as Vihan. And so that was just lucky, to be perfectly honest. I bought a blue jumpsuit and pieced together the white, gloves and boots, and I was on Etsy, and I was like, none of these really look very good. But then this one was kind of modern and sleek, and it just so happened to be at the place that we were about to go film. So it felt like it was like meant to be. And then for Power Rangers, it really is like start with the morpher, okay, then get the suit, then we get the helmet. We don't have a big budget to go buy everything at once, but teasing with the morpher, seeing how the fans react. Is it worth getting the suit? Is it worth getting the helmet? So then we build from there. But the costumes itself is it's a real challenge because you get there on set and we don't have backups. We don't have like things to piece it together. It really is problem solving on the actual set if something goes wrong with the costume. But I do test fittings and stuff for the promo pictures. But yeah, it's a lot of luck. It's a lot of creativity, and it's a lot of like team effort to make it cooler and better. Like DJ and Dade, who play Landon and TK in Shattered Past, they put together their own costumes, and I was like, "You guys look awesome. This is better than anything I could have done. Hell yeah, let's proceed." So it's all it all varies, but it's a lot of luck, a little bit of skill. I'm not a cosplayer or costume maker by any means. I just kind of know how to put things together, almost like a character creation in the beginning of a video game. And that's how I like to pretend when I build these characters and their fits. So to answer your question, it varies per character. Sometimes it's really easy, sometimes it's lucky, and sometimes you're like, I'm going to work towards that. Like my Omega Ranger suit, that took me till episode 4 to get because I wasn't ready. I didn't know what I wanted it to look like. I didn't know where to get it or get the helmet or anything. But we took time, and then I think that morph sequence with DJ and me in episode 4 is one of my favorite moments I've ever filmed.
Yeah, because you do have a lot of props and like Psycho Red suit is like absolutely spot on. I can imagine that's a nightmare as well.
Yeah.
You've got your Shadow Saber, like a dark version of his saber. So the
Oh
fact
yeah.
that you don't, not all the time have backups, and you put a lot of like chance into it, don't you? You kind of have a
Yeah.
lot, which is insane. But it has good payoff. Like, do you get much recognition for the acting and the fan films that you've done so far?
Oh yeah, I mean, shout out to you for even asking me to be on here. I love talking to people that watch our stuff. But yeah, I mean, for a while I was doing conventions and like, going and playing my stuff there and even like being behind a table and signing pictures, like it was very surreal. But then I realized that that's not really what I want to do. But I do love, like, we did Power Morphicon. We got so much love at Power Morphicon. It was amazing. All these like Ranger fans telling us how, they watch our stuff and they're inspired by it. They want to make their own. And that's my big dream, is to because I was so scared to start creating and start filmmaking or anything. But if I can do what I do and inspire someone to get creative and make something, anything, then that's my dream come true. And then but yeah, I get a lot of love, especially, like at these anime conventions that, is part of my job. Lots of love on Son of Trunks and even Power Rangers. And then back in the day, Reverse Flash, I'd still get recognized for that still. But yeah, to answer your question quickly, lots of love for those three shows. They Reverse Flash and our Power Rangers, and then Son of Trunks. It's just been so overwhelmingly positive. Despite, there's lots of haters online, but in person, it's been really, really cool to see that these people care enough about our fan films that it resonates with them, and that, maybe they want to do it themselves. And that's just the best message I can get.
Yeah, that's when it comes to being, especially Power Rangers. I think that's one decent community when it comes to fan projects. I mentioned to a couple of Power Ranger buddies of mine, I'm interviewing you, and they were all psyched and told me to watch like the Bloodline of The Grid and Rise of the Ninja and stuff. And,
Awesome.
so like quite a lot of my a lot of my episodes on the podcast is Power Ranger related. I get a lot of Power Ranger content creators and stuff. I've spoken to a few pretty psyched that I get in. To be honest, I've been psyched all week. The podcast buddy I mentioned, I think me and him have spoken every single day about the fact that he's interviewing Christopher, I'm interviewing you, and we're just sat here, minds blown.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you again for having me.
Nah, honestly, bro, like, you've made my day for sure. Made my week.
Thank you.
So when it comes to storylines for these, for everything that you're in, of an impact do you personally have on these stories?
I'm sorry. Did you say how much impact do I have personally?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm the lead and only writer on Rise of Ninja, First Ninja, Shattered Past, and Son of Trunks. But Bloodline is DJ and Chris working together. And DJ and I have a big, we're like best friends. I love DJ to death. But we have like a mutual respect on like, I don't think my character would say that line because, like he created TK. And although Sam existed within SPD, he didn't really have much of a personality. So I kind of go, I don't think Sam would say that. So my only real impact on Bloodline is kind of asking DJ, like, could I switch my line to this? Some tweaks in dialogue. And there's even like little things like, okay, so in Ep 2, I'm like fighting a bunch of holograms, and then he was like, well, what do you think Sam would do? And I was like, I think Sam would, chop through and then switch to like a backhand, holding your blade like backwards, like backhanded blade holding. And then I think he would just wipe them all out, the big energy blast. And he was like, okay, do it. And then we did a big fight scene for Ep 3. I'm fighting all these things called Zedites. And we're like choreographing with all these stunt guys that are way, 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 way better at this than me, but they help me look cool. And I was like, I think this is where Sam would go backhanded. And then they're like, okay, let's do it. So I switched it to backhanded, like blade style, and I would just, that kind of Sam things that I've played Sam for, man, 3 years now, 4 years, maybe more. So I kind of have insight to like what he would do, especially at this moment. And DJ lets me put that into his script. And then same vice versa, where we're on set with Shattered Past, and DJ was like, I think he would do this, or I think he would do that, and I want to switch this line. And I go, yes, absolutely, I love it. And then we also are we encourage improv a lot where we go like, let's say DJ's directing, I'm like, hey DJ, I'm going to try something on this one. And he's like, okay, go for it. If I don't like it, I'll let you know. And then when he's on set with me, I was like, hey, if you want to switch it up, go for it. So we trust each other a lot. There's a lot of trust with the creativity and like freedom with it. And I think that really like brings our characters together too, on and off screen.
Yeah, you can definitely see, how much enjoyment you have on screen. You can see that the other actors that you work with are enjoying themselves. You can definitely tell that there's a lot of, I don't want to use the word easy, but I guess that's the word I'm going with. Just the easiness between you lot. There isn't. It doesn't look like you're uncomfortable. Or you're having a bad time, right? Tell that honestly, you look like having a blast.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. I wouldn't say it anyways, but I think I enjoy working with all of our castmates. Like, there is some scenes with the time trio that are just so much fun because we all love each other in real life. But there's like, there's a certain there's a certain bond you get after filming just once with someone, and like not to get too existential or anything, but you have to imagine that you are leaving your mind. Like, I'm not Colin anymore, and DJ's not DJ anymore. We are TK and Sam, and there's a certain bond that you build where you both have to dip out of like who you really are to become someone else together. Without getting too deep into it, acting in my head, I really am not Colin in between action and cut, and that's something that is, I think, once you do it once with someone and it goes well, let's say one episode or one full video, you do have like a strange bond. Like, not to ramble, but I'll give you one more example. I did my first 48-hour film festival or film competition just 2 weeks ago, and there's a girl that was in my 48-hour. And for those of you that don't know what the 48-hour is, you get a prompt, you get like a theme, you have to film, act, edit, write everything, turn it in within 48 hours, and then it's entered into a festival, played on the big screen. It's like, it was my first time ever doing it. And I acted with this girl who I just met for like, a 12-hour shoot day. And ever since then, we've like been really good friends. Like, you do create this like strange bond. Now imagine that for multiple episodes over multiple series over multiple universes. Like, we do have a really good time, but there is some sort of like deep bond that you build when you act, and you have to dip out from reality for a second with someone. And I think that shows on screen too, because we all really love each other, at least us three, I can say. And I'm sure a lot of other people love each other on our shows. But like, there is something that changed in episode 4 where all three of us were together, kind of just bickering and battling. And then after that episode, we all just had drinks and became really, really good friends. So it's a magical thing, honestly.
Yeah, it's really cool. I write stories and fan fictions and turn them into people to listen to. And when I first started doing that, I became friends with other people who also do the same thing, and we now have like story. Power Rangers is a huge thing for us. We do a lot of Power Ranger fan fictions and audio dramas, and it's not the same because of, like you said, you're acting in what you do, but I kind of can relate because me and these two have like worked together, and kind of something similar to what you said about you have to think about what the character would say here and do there, and we have to do something similar. We have to figure out how characters act and how they'd say words. And once you have a project with someone, and you push it out there and it becomes public and stuff, it definitely, you can definitely form bonds by doing that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think just what you're doing is similar to mine, where you are creating with someone, and not to take anything away from anyone who doesn't create, but there is a certain level of a bond that you create with someone when you're actually creating. Doesn't matter if it's writing or improv or singing or acting or music. There is something that's a bridge that's built that you can't really explain to the without being rude, the non-creative types. So I totally get what you're saying, and I do think it's similar. So good on you, man. Good, keep creating, keep doing dope shit. I believe in you. Sorry for cussing.
Oh no, it's fine. You can cuss away. It's fine. This podcast is cool.
Fuck yeah. Oh.
No, honestly, it's all good. You mentioned 48 given like a I'm curious. What was your prompt? What did you have to make a movie about?
Oh man, so I was very very nervous, and I've only done like superhero and fan film stuff for my 12 years of acting, right? And so I was like, man, I hope we get like action or sci-fi or supernatural or thriller, things that I kind of could do. We pulled romance and food. so
Oh,
so
that's
I
great. I
yeah,
love that.
like at least I didn't get like dance or something, right? But so we got romance and food, but you can pick one and kind of like tweak it. So I chose the romance side, but I made it like kind of like a ex-assassin quit his job of killing people and fell in love with a girl and chose this life. And it's like it's a big flashback sequence while he's getting tortured. And I don't know the results or anything. We just played it. It was played in a big giant movie theater, which was really cool. But I should hear the results back on the 15th. But everyone seemed to really like it, and I got to do a red carpet, and I felt like a superstar. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, we got we got food and romance, and I was like, "Fuck, okay, what can I do here?" And I was like, "Okay, a love story, but still a kind of action thriller. Okay, I can do this." And yeah, so we had to follow all these rules and do it in less than 2 days. It was so like hectic and crazy, but I would totally do it again. I loved it.
Hey, at least you didn't get anything like musical and erotica.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
could have been
yeah.
worse.
One team got dance, and none of them could dance, so they hired. They turned out that their like craft service lady, the lady feeding them and making snacks, she could dance, so she got moved to the lead, the snack lady.
Fair. That works, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And it was actually good. I voted for it as one of my top three. I was like, I like this. And then learning that story, I'm like, good for you guys. You guys problem solved.
Yeah, that was quick thinking. So with your, this is more aimed at your Power Ranger ones because you've done quite a few Power Rangers. Are they
Yes.
like connected? Are you building like a multiverse? Or exist in the same universe for those who don't know?
Yeah, so it's called the Power Rangers Extended Universe, and I believe there are 5 shows that are all connected and a comic book series. So I like to like imagine as like a multimedia connected universe. So we have comic books, we have the first one, which is Power Rangers First Ninja, which is connected to Power Rangers Rise of the Ninja, which is also connected to Shattered Past because it's a big time traveling one. And then Bloodline is directly connected to Shattered Past with some shared characters. And then Power Rangers Found Footage is all connected through the comic books, which connects to all 4 of the shows. So it's like a really messy cinematic universe. But some of the shows, we lost. I won't say we lost Will. Will moved away, so I couldn't continue Rise. First Ninja, I stopped focusing on First Ninja because Shattered Past was doing well. And then now Bloodline and Found Footage is just I could always come back and do an Ep 2. But right now the main focus is finishing Shattered Past, and then Bloodline is on Ep 3 right now. So those are the 2 that are still like in production. But we have new comics coming out, and we have different things that like piece it all together. And yeah, I just filmed with the Thunder Rangers from Ninja Storm, which was a dream come true. It was so much fun, so quick but so fun. And so yeah, it's all connected. And if I've seen people do like deep dives on how it's connected, and it's there. It's just different timelines, different universes, or different characters that will never meet but maybe look similar. And yeah, so it's all connected under the big umbrella of the Power Rangers extended universe.
First off, you worked with the Thunder Ranger brothers. That's awesome.
I know, dude.
That
I'm a
is
big
so cool.
I'm a big Disney era fan, so I like love everything from Wild Force was taken over like halfway, so I'm going to include Wild Force. I love Wild Force all the way until RPM. Those are like my favorite seasons. So to work, I think they were I worked with Jessica Rae, but again, that was still before Disney totally took over. But to work with anyone in the Disney era was just so much fun. And Adam, the Crimson Ranger, and I have become really good friends, and we hung out all weekend at Morphicon. He took me under his wing and like really treated me like a fellow ranger, which was really cool. And then they had lines, and I went over and I was like, "You guys think we could film?" Because we've been talking about it for a year. And then Jorge, which is the Navy Ranger, he's like, "We either do this now or never." And it was very Power Rangers, right? He goes, "We either do this now or never." and I nod and they nod, and we run with this little ragtag production team. DJ Rivers directed. I wrote it. I acted in it with the Thunder Rangers, and we had this like crew filming it on 6K Black Magic, and we got it done in like maybe 30 minutes, and they got them back to their tables. But we're there. We're like, we did it. We fucking did it. And then DJ had his missions the whole weekend too, to like get his he had scenes to do with Justin Nemo and voiceovers to do with I don't know if I can say it, some other Rangers that would be in Bloodline. And it was we got it done, and there's a picture of us just hugging because it was so stressful, but we got it all done, and we're working with our heroes. It was so much fun.
Yeah, when it comes to Bloodline, myself and a few other people that like I've told that I'm interviewing you they've all asked me, can you ask Colin when Bloodline's coming out, please?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
Bloodline is in high demand, by the way.
I agree. I agree. Now, ever since Ep 1 came out, people, want really more, faster, faster, faster. And I'll say this very like openly, honestly. I think Bloodline is our best looking, highest quality show of the entire extended universe, and I'm really proud to be a part of it. But like, while I personally am just trying to get things out in time for like different dates, DJ and Chris and them are really taking their time to make it look and be as best as it can be. And I respect that. It's just not really my style of doing things. I like constantly getting things out as soon as possible. But he and Chris are, they're that's why it looks the best. That's why it's the highest quality, is because they take their time. So I don't have an answer. I just know that I filmed my scenes. I know it's in motion, and I know that they like started their new YouTube and stuff. So everything's like in the process of going. I just don't have a release date or a trailer date or anything, but I know the gist of what's been filmed. I think I know what's been filmed, and man, there's some surprises. There's some surprise return Rangers that I think people will be really excited about.
Yeah, see, I respect, the fact that it takes a while, and you're saying that it's high production. I think episode 1 alone looks really good, really crisp. You have like the robot drone that Andros crashes.
Yeah,
You have the hologram. You've got like Psycho Red morphing. It just looks really good, and honestly, looks better than some films this year. Production
yeah,
wise. So props to you
yeah.
guys.
I think 1 is like solid, but it was like, respectfully speaking, I'd say safe. But it was there, and it was a great like opener. And we didn't even know. DJ was like, this might just be like a sizzle reel or a trailer, but it turned into a whole episode, and I'm really proud of that episode. One of my favorite moments was deflecting Andros's lightning, and I was like, this is amazing. I'm so happy to be here. But then I think Ep 2 really showed what they can do. Like that fight scene went on for like 3 to 4 minutes, and it was like DJ and Chris just kicking those Crybots asses. And I was like, this is amazing. Like for a ragtag production team to get this done, and like do like a quality fight scene, VFX and martial arts and everything. It was so much fun to watch. And then I remember rewatching it just the other day and texting DJ. I'm like, this episode's beautiful, man. I don't think I really appreciated it until right now. Like, you guys kill. This is the best thing the extended universe has ever done. And he goes, thank you, C. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So I think that he's just trying to one up himself, because 1's great, 2 I think is better, and then now 3, I've seen clips of 3 at Morphicon, and it just looks awesome. So I hope everyone's still excited. I hope they stay patient, but 3 is gonna kill it for sure.
I'm so looking forward to future Power Ranger stuff from you guys. The one of my favorite done, and it was actually the first question I down to ask you. With TJ, you've combined Turbo and In Space. You kind of like combined his power set, which is genius. But I love the fact that it's the In Space suit with the Turbo helmet. How did that come about? Who came up with that idea?
So that was DJ. So DJ plays TK, which is TJ and someone's son. I won't say. I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, but you can kind of put it together, I think. But so he figured his character was the son of TJ, and then he was trained by Uncle Andros, like he calls him.
Yeah.
So I don't know like the exact origin story, but I remember he was putting together a suit that was a fusion of Turbo, his dad, and his mentor in space. Then we're walking, and I think we were going to do our first morph for Shattered Past. So it was the first time I was in my Omega suit, first time he was in his suit, and we were talking about the name, like, what do we call this? And I was like, dude, Red Fusion Ranger, and he was like, no, because there might be other Red Fusion Rangers in the future, which is true. And then he was like, Red Fusion Space Ranger. And I was like, that is catchy. I love it. Let's go. I still liked Red Fusion Ranger, but it ended up being a blessing because we had a different Red Fusion Ranger. When we had Catherine Sutherland in Shattered Past, she gave Dade, our Time Force Red, a Zeo charge, so he became a Red Fusion Ranger too. Anyway, so DJ came up with the costume, I believe the design, and then the name was made up right before we morphed. So we're there with like our helmets off, and he's like, "What am I shouting?" You know, because we like shift into space, let's rock it, Red Fusion Space Ranger. So he came up with that right before we filmed, and then I made up my morph, like I think back in Ep 2, and then but the morphing sequence I made up with our VFX artist after the fact. So it was all like really on the spot creativity that led to like a pretty iconic scene in my opinion. And but yeah, I'd give DJ all the credit for that. I think I was just kind of a sounding board, and man, then after that sequence, after that episode, for his episode, he added like the black trim from the turbo suits to make it even more of a fusion ranger. And then you saw him with both weapons from In Space and Turbo. So yeah, Red Fusion Space Ranger, baby. That was Mr. DJ.
Yeah, the first time that he morphs, and it's the combination of, In Space and Turbo, the fact it's like, a bit of both morphs, it's very, very well done how it's a fusion of both. To even just down to the roll call, even just down to what he says. Very clever. It's one of my favorite creations. Uh, and I kind of, a lot of my storylines, I don't like playing around with characters that already exist. I just don't like tramping on someone's toes or something. So
Totally.
I quite often make an apprentice of a ranger. I'll make the child. So like, one of my main characters is Adam Parks' apprentice called Dante, and he's the next Mighty Morphin Black Ranger, air quote. So like the fact that you got TK, the son of TJ, who I was like, yeah, that's totally like in line with what I do. That's
Yeah, the beauty of fan films, right? You can do the things that the studios can't.
yeah, that's actually kind of leads up to one of my next questions. Like, do you ever question certain ideas, whether it like goes against, would it happen in Power Rangers, or like does it make sense? Like, do you ever question them, or just roll with whatever you guys want to do?
I always try to make it connected to something because I think that's why people enjoy our shows, is because we're fans too. We know our stuff. And I think the more we connect it to the original series or the original, timeline, that's what people appreciate. And so many Easter eggs in all of our shows that I think people really appreciate if they know their stuff. I hope we can entertain everyone, but the Power Ranger fans will be like, oh, wow, you connected all of the Ninja Rangers all through this thing called the Ninja Nexus. And they really enjoy that. But everyone else is just like, no, they're just Power Rangers. What do you mean? But we know as fans that there are different ninja themed Rangers throughout the entire run of the show. So I always like to try to make it make sense and connect to the show we all know and love. But I also am a big believer in trying to tell untold stories and do things that the show can never do. But I always try to make it make sense. And then sometimes things don't work out, or maybe the fans didn't really like it, and then I do my best to maneuver right around it and move on.
Yeah, that's how it should be. I like that a lot. Is there any particular, and this isn't just aimed at Power Rangers, anything, because you mentioned Bloodhaven and the fact that like you kind of wanted to do something else. Is there any particular project that you guys tried to work on or started other than Bloodhaven hasn't come to the light of day?
Oh yeah, tons, man. Yeah, you go for it, and then I think when you get to a certain point, and I don't want to detour anyone from not releasing stuff because I think you learn a lot from releasing stuff. But there are some things where we like got it into full post production. I'm like, this just isn't very good. I don't want to release this. We did a Naruto found footage that was just not very good. It was funny, but it just was a little messy. And we were still building Anime Fire at the time. I didn't want to debut it on there. Then we did a My Hero found footage that was the VFX or something went wrong. I don't really remember. But yeah, I've got plenty of projects that like I filmed and it never went anywhere. But I'm still glad I did them. I learned something every time. And also I have that experience under my belt to know what not to do the next time. But yeah, really when we started Anime Fire, I was kind of throwing it at the wall and seeing what stuck. Luckily we had Digimon and Son of Trunks, and we did like Metabots and Shaman King, and I'm proud of all those. They weren't all hits, but I'm still proud of them. And but yeah, I've got a few. I won't call them failures. I'd call them a few like unreleased projects that I don't see myself going back to, but still proud I did them.
That's fair. Is there any like particular particular thing that you're really into that you'd love to make a fan about, but you haven't got there yet, or you don't think it would work?
I'm looking at a Keyblade on my wall right now. I would love to do Kingdom Hearts. DJ and I have talked about it before, and we're like, if we do this, we got to do it together. So Kingdom Hearts is a big one. Also, love X-Men. I played Cyclops in this one fan film that I don't know what they're doing, but I walked away because I did not feel like I was the right fit for what they were doing. But I still got to play him in one short, and I had a lot of fun. And I love Cyclops. So anything X-Men. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts and X-Men probably are like my two on my list before I get too old. But man, I never really slowed down. I always was trying to play all the characters that I wanted to, even if it's just for like one quick short. Because I figure like, I'm gonna be an old man and I'm gonna look back on all this stuff and just be like, man, I'm glad I did that. So I think those two are on my bucket list for sure.
The more that we have this conversation, the more I realize how much me. You've mentioned Naruto,
Yep.
which is my favorite anime. Kingdom
Awesome.
Hearts is
Yep.
one of my favorite gaming series. One of my writing buddies that I mentioned, he's a huge Kingdom Hearts fan as well. Power
Awesome.
Rangers. You played Reverse Flash. He's one of my favorite DC villains.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, we have a lot.
That's
Did Kingdom
great.
Hearts? If you did Kingdom Hearts, oh dude, I'd be all over that for sure.
Yeah, I gotta find. We were talking about it the other day, just like how to kind of modernize it, because we're not gonna have Mickey Mouse running around with us, but like bringing a Keyblade into the modern world and making that the focus, I think would be really, really cool. I think people would appreciate that.
What if you did a modern day Kingdom Hearts? Would it be a case of like, because you mentioned like a key, the Heartless have come to Earth? Because technically speaking, we never see Earth.
Yeah,
So
no, you're right.
would that be kind of like the way that you'd go?
I think I do like something untold, kind of like Organization 14 or Organization 1 or something. Like kind of lean into the more human side of it, because
Yeah.
then that's more doable. But or maybe like the first Keyblade or the last Keyblade, like things that give me a little more freedom, and then maybe lean into like a young version or an old version of a iconic character. But ideally, it'd be something that I wouldn't limit me to the Kingdom Hearts rules, because that fandom, as you know, is very confusing. But if we lean into like it's really really long ago or really really far in the future, we'd have more freedom to it. But I think leaning into the Organization 13, either past or the future of it, and like humans and different Keyblades, maybe things you've never seen before, I think that's where I would go. But I'm trying hard not to like get too excited about it, because I got a lot on my plate already.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So if somebody wanted to do what you're doing, fan film, production, everything like that, what advice would you give someone?
I would say just try, just get out there and do it. Surround yourself with people that are like minded, that want to do it. Don't do favors. Don't ask for favors. Just get people that are excited to do it and like believe in it, or even just want to try it. I spent so many years like bribing people with beer and food to be in my projects, and I'm not friends with any of them anymore. I'm not working with any of them anymore. Phones can film in 4K now. Like, it doesn't hurt to just go out and try and learn as you go, and you don't have to release it. But I think the most important part is getting out there and trying, surrounding yourself with people that believe in you, and just trying to learn from each experience. And also, the most important one is never giving up. If you really care about and really want to do this, or even content create in general, just don't give up. Like, imagine if likes and views weren't a part of it. Like, are you proud of this project? Are you excited that you're doing this at all? Because I did it for years with no one watching what we were doing, and I just knew that I loved doing it, and I was excited to do it. I knew someday it would lead to something important, and now it's my full-time job with a media company, and I'm surrounded by the things that I love with like-minded, passionate people, and I'm just so grateful. So I think those are the four things that I wish I could tell my past self that. But yeah, so just one more time: try, surround yourself with people. You don't have to release it, and don't give up.
Yeah, that's actually good advice. I think, when it comes to, especially if you're a huge fan, have
Yep.
passion for it. I always tell people that, because I get a lot of questions about, writing audio dramas, because I have voice actors and things as well, and my response is always, just get it out there. Make sure you've got, the tools, like you said, phones recording in 4K.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to spend hundreds straight away.
Yeah.
My microphone now is only 50 quid, so, and it's good quality, so you don't have to worry about that sort of thing. And just, you mentioned like-minded people. I think having people around me, like the person who got me into podcasting, he has a podcast. He, like I said, he's interviewing Christopher Lee. He's so many big, wrestlers, voice actors, all sorts of stuff. That is my drive, is watching him do that. And this guy lives in America. I've never met him in person. He's just a buddy of mine, sort of thing. But watching him able to do that, it's like, yeah, okay, I can do it. I'm 30
Yes.
so episodes in, and I'm loving it.
You can, you did, and you will, and you're just gonna go up, man. It's awesome to see, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Well, we agreed on 50 minutes. We're close, so I shall be. Thank you so much for coming on. The last thing I want to ask you: if people want to find you, if people want to watch your stuff, where can people find you?
Yeah. First of all, thank you for having me, and we'll do. If anytime you want to do a part two, I'm there. Things will slow down for me after Anime Pasadena, so you just let me know. I'm there. Maybe we could do one with DJ. You let me know whatever you want.
Yes, bro, 110%.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. Okay, I'll make that happen. We'll talk after. Okay. But yeah, so I'm Colin K. Bass. I'm most active on everything Colin K. Bass. That's where I do all my updates and stuff. You can find Dragon Ball Son of Trunks on Anime Fire. You can find the Power Rangers Extended Universe on Crimson Vision Studios and Nerdbot Studios and Anime Fire. And honestly, it's a quick Google search for any of our titles, and they'll pop up. So be on the lookout for the Power Rangers Shattered Past series finale, Dragon Ball Son of Trunks episode 2, and then just future projects will be announced very, very soon. But right now, I'm just focusing on those.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to upcoming projects and stuff. You mentioned the Thunderbolts, that I'm so looking, seeing that. That's going to be an absolute blast. And yeah, I'm so willing for you to come. I respect the fact that you're busy and you're hectic, and I'm just very grateful that you're willing to spend an hour geek out about the stuff you've done. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. And it was my pleasure. And I bet you and I could have gone on for another like 2 hours. This was fun.
Oh, easy, bro. And yes, when life's a little less hectic for you, maybe in the new year or so, for sure come back. Yeah, we'll
yeah. Let's do it.
Well, thank you guys for listening. To having Colin on It's been a huge geek fest for me for the last couple of weeks. Absolutely mind blown. I don't think I've stopped smiling. Not gonna lie. So, of course, if you're listening here on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. And, of course, hit the notification bell so you don't miss another episode if you listen to us on the podcast platforms. Don't forget to rate us or star us or however that works. And, of course, don't forget to roar passion, buddy. I love you all, and we shall see you guys in the next one.
Thank you, guys. Have a great one.
This podcast is a production of the Three Rangerverse Studios, in association with Zio to Hero, the podcast.